nobody's dirty business how my baby treat me. Ain't nobody's business but my own. Ain't nobody's dirty business, yeah, ain't nobody's doggone business. Ain't nobody's business but my own. Nobody's Dirty Business, classic blues song. This is the John Hurt version of it. This is the companion to the guitar version I did, which is he played guitar, and I show you how to play mandolin along with it too. So you can switch instruments or get a little band together. That would be the goal. I'd love to see a lot of people go out and play good acoustic blues and old-time music. And as much as I love bluegrass, and you know, I grew up on bluegrass, following Doc Watson around, I've seen the legends. I mean, I've been... I'll talk about mandolin. I've been 6 inches away from Jesse McReynolds' mandolin, watching every single thing he did. Never got to see Bill Monroe. Missed him by like a week. I was always like just out of luck. Whenever I got somewhere, he had just left. But definitely Sam Bush, saw him probably 1,000 times. Chris Steele and the older guys too. So many, just the true greats, you know, I got to see up close. So don't think I don't love bluegrass, but I really would like to see mandolin break out of its cage that says it's just a bluegrass instrument these days. If you want to play bluegrass, it's great. And there's some licks that I used in my little break here that I just improvised on the spot. You could absolutely work into a bluegrass context. I mean, I start off, I'm doing like a double stop here. Well, first of all, it's in the key of C, so the chords are real simple. We're using that just standard C chop chord, basically, where we're really just playing a two-note chord, C, E, C, F, and that's C, F, A, to G7, back to C. And that G7 is D, F, B. So on all those, I'm just leaving the top string open but kind of muted. I'm not hitting that top string. Obviously, you could. I see no reason to do that unless you have like some, you know, crazy high Bobby Osborne tenor voice and it sounds good. It doesn't for me. I'm a baritone and a rather froggy one at that today because my voice is a little strained, a little hoarse. I guess just allergies, you know. But anyway. So you got your chords down, and so I did this little double stop. I just went to the... All that is E, G, so E, G, E, G, E, A, yeah. Play that any way you like. You could certainly go, I think, yeah, if you wanted to. I don't particularly think that sounds great. You could leave it open. Hit that open string. Play it however you like. Anyway, it's just E, D, F, D, E, F, E, D, F. And then standard just G run. First time through, so that's G, B, D, G, A, G, then do it again. So the second time I'm just going F, E, D, C. And we're back to our chord. So up to speed. Go back to that C chord there. Super simple. Really, probably doesn't get easier than that. So many different versions of it, going back to Bessie Smith's, I mean, one of the most popular blues albums of all time, to John Hurt, to a million other people who have done this. I always want to emphasize, when you're playing a folk style of music, really make it your own. You're not trying to copy off the record everybody note for note. That's why so many bluegrass festivals and fiddlers conventions and such are really no fun anymore. They're just no fun anymore. You've got people that didn't grow up necessarily in like an authentic tradition of playing a folk style of music, where they're growing up hearing from older people and being encouraged to make the music their own and keep the tradition going. You're hearing a lot of people that learn from recordings, especially in our day and age of YouTube and such as that. And it's like, 15, 20 guys just seeing who can play every single Bill Monroe or Newgrass Revival lick, or throw in, fill in the blanks, the fastest. And it just comes down to speed. It's like, this really gets old after a while. Or somebody playing note for note Earl Scruggs banjo, or Sonny Osborne, and it's like, okay, that's great, but if I wanted to hear the original recording, I'd just pop in a CD or pull up, a digital file and listen. I mean, I've still got a lot of this stuff on 78s, old 78s from my Victrola player. I've got 2 Victrola players. I love that stuff. But if I want to hear the original, I'll listen to the original. I don't want to hear a carbon copy. I want to hear you do something that is yours. And that's how we keep a tradition alive. That's how we keep it energetic. That's how it's not a museum piece. There was a guy commented on a jazz recording I was listening to the other night. And he said he was a professional classical musician. And he said what he loves about playing jazz, even though he can't make a living at it, is that he can improvise and he can make it his own. He said, essentially, when I'm playing classical music, I'm a record player. The whole thing is honing technique to play it exactly as written. And that's not a folk tradition. And that's probably a reason most Americans don't really get into classical music. We grew up on rock and roll and country and blues and soul music and funk, and we're listening for something we haven't heard before. Now, it's not to, I love classical music, actually. And, I remember the first time I heard Chris Thiel play, was it Brahms? It was at Merlefest. He was only like 15. And it was just like, holy cow, this kid can play, right? But we do have a living tradition, and we have to keep it energetic. And that means each person has to put their own mark on it. So if you've been one of those that's just really learning from tablature, really learning from recordings, magazines, YouTube videos, whatever, and you're trying to play note for note exactly the way your hero played it, it's fine. That's a great exercise. But after you do, lay that down and figure out, how am I going to vary it? How am I going to come up with my own riff on it? Will I play the chords in a different position? Will I throw in an extra beat or take out a couple of beats? Will I make up my own solo up the neck or down the neck? I don't hear a lot of down the neck solos played. A lot of them sound really good when they do. I just listened to Dave Grisman. He could do some really good stuff on, especially the gypsy jazz stuff down on lower strings. But always remember that. Anyway, have fun with this one. Email me if you have any questions. Judson@judsoncarroll.com, or leave a comment in the comment section on the YouTube video. I'll get right back with you and explain anything if you have a question. And otherwise, talk to you next week.